What a lovely song you're playing. It's quite sweet. Let's bust out a little of this action and check out what's going on here. I'm going to turn that off and we're going to try out some Talespire. So this is a beta test of a program called Talespire that's been out, come out for a while now. Came out 2 days ago, not for a while. Talespire's been in the making for a while. It was kickstarted a couple of months ago, and they just released it. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to use, and I'm really impressed with the beta, how the performance of it is. It's actually surprisingly well, even though it's missing a butt ton of features. But let's get into it. This is the start screen. You're going to see, they're making a really big point of this beta is for testing. There will be a lot of bugs, performance issues, and feature changes. So this is kind of like, I wouldn't say a first look. Other people are doing some stuff on this, but I'm going to show you the things that this does and compare it to what I use all the time, Tabletop Simulator. We're going to get into it by smashing the begin button. And this is going to take you to like where you want to create your campaigns. So I've got a couple of them. I was goofing around with this test table. And why is my thing not changing on my screen? I don't know. Hopefully this is working right. Oh yeah, I can see it, but it doesn't show you the pop-up. That's fantastic. So what we're going to do then is we're going to push this over to the right monitor so that it makes a little more sense, and we'll click on right monitor instead, because that way I know you'll be able to see it. Try and adjust this a little bit so that it sits over here. So you got your campaigns. I've got two of them, Murder Hoboville and Test Table running. So we're going to just do Test Table for now. Actually, I'll show you Murder Hoboville. Pops up with a little bit of description on it, who runs it, last time you played on it. The description part you can't really fill in right now, so it is what it is. And then you can join other campaigns. Once you get into yours, you need to get a code. You put the code in here and hit the join button, and it worked really well. I joined Jamie Pearson, a buddy of mine's game, but I couldn't figure out how to actually see the tables. We kind of got stuck. So let's hit the play button and show you what happens here. Here's the old test table. This is what you're going to show up when you pop into the game. It is just a blank deal. As you zoom in, kind of looks like ground beef. That's the floor texture that they kind of went with. And unlike Tabletop Simulator, this table sort of really never ends. Man, you can just sort of keep going in whatever direction you want. Maybe it does end, I don't know. But I mean, look how long I've been holding up this key. It gives you an idea as to how big you can make villages and stuff in. I'm not 100% sure what F2 does. But for some reason, I think it might be like a center or go back to the middle of the table kind of a thing. You're going to hit spacebar to bring up certain things. Over here, we've got boards and campaign settings. So I think what we want to do, the gist of this is you want to create or go to this board. So you can create new boards. These are all boards are like, I would call them scenes inside of Tabletop Simulator. We're going to press go to this board, Miss Fiona's Tea House, and it's going to load in a little bit of a tavern here. You can see the tavern. I hate the controls. I got to admit, I don't know why they didn't go first-person shooter. You have to press and hold the zoom in button, which is the middle mouse, to rotate, or you can use Q and E to get around. But I prefer right mouse to get around. Right mouse, this is what you get. Like I can't spin around the table. So this is a thing that I've built. Didn't take me that long. It's actually fairly simple to do, which is kind of cool. You have things like over here, you have this lever. So this is like your viewing lever, and you'll see as we get in and sort of bring it down, we're going to put it right about here. And then when we zoom in on the table, that little lever is going to take the top floor off. See how it drops down? As I slowly drop it down, you're going to get down to this height, which is, your sort of your bottom level. As you move it up a little bit, you start seeing things pop in. They pop in really neat, and the aesthetics of this game is fantastic. And then you want to sort of snap and lock there. Now, when I bail out of the table, it won't show me the top. I haven't finished in the top pieces, but anytime I get within sort of viewing distance or I get close enough, it just sort of rips this layer off. If you move this or unlock this and move it up, it's just going to show you the different levels. This is just kind of how you choose like what level you're sort of looking at. It's like a height indicator. which is really weird because that's what this is too. It's like your height thing for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure what this does, or even what these weird place marker deals do. But this is a little tavern that I built. The aesthetics are fantastic. Here's a little guy pointing at his medicine bottle, and these guys over near the bar are doing some cheers and whatnot. It's pretty sweet. It's not bad. I put a little extra room in the back and drop some grass, and then put a little hatch. You can click on these hatches, and then your players can request, opening and closing them, which is a cool feature. Yeah, this has got sort of lots going on for it, and the beta for this is actually pretty good. So this is Miss Fiona's tea house that I made. Got some stairs that lead up to the second level, and it wasn't very hard to make. You can change stuff by going into build mode. You just hit B as you're farting around with it. Got all sorts of stuff, from castle walls, castle floors. If I wanted to drag this out, I think you got to click on it. And then it's going to put it down there, right? And then you just can move things around. If you want to make multiples, you drop them all just by doing stuff like that, which is pretty straightforward. It's just wherever you want it to piece or to go into. Let's right click and turn the grid on so that the grid will follow the mouse. That's another kind of a neat feature. I like doing that. So you'll see down here, I'm building the base layer. If you want to change that, which is a kind of a cool feature, to work on the second level, let's go over here and zoom in on these. Change the work level to, just so that I can't see this, so that's down. So this should be the next level that I'm working on top. Now, you want to grab some castle floor, start dropping these down. It's going to put them on this level. They all drop one level above, and that sort of sets your second level if you look at from the side. So you want to adjust the height of the things that you're working on. So you can see just by doing those couple of simple steps how easy it would be to completely build giant floor. Like bam, your room is kind of done, and then from there you just want to go and put on. Oops, hey, what are you doing? I'm gonna put on. Oh, here's another thing too that you guys should know. When you zoom in, you look at the castle wall. This one is castle wall with floor. Now pressing the middle mouse button, which is you see me zooming in and out, should change this the way that this thing faces. Pop this thing down here. Then if you want to just make a bunch of them, I like the white cage around it so you know where it's going to go. Click and drop, and then you'll see it says 8 by 2. The piece is too wide. Drops them all down. I'm going to right click on this sucker. Spin my camera around. Ooh, I must have hit W. Oh, there, I just turned on my flashlight because my hand's not in the right spot. It's very wonkly, and it takes a bit of getting used to, at least for me, because I'm used to playing first-person shooters. Go all the way down to the end with this wall and drop it right there. Turn off the flashlight piece, right-click, and just like that, you've got all of that built. So you can see that it actually would take quite a bit of time to do this. You could get stuff going on quite quickly. That's the castle pieces. You've got castle ruins. You've got caverns. Let's drop some of these pieces. Here's the tile for the floor on that. I should have made that a little bit wider. Get the gist of it, right? It's pretty easy to sort of drag and drop. You get the repeating thing is another thing that I'm really not a big fan of. I don't know. It's cool looking, but it definitely has that ceramic tile sort of look to it. You know what I mean? Like that crafted piece that you're going to see at the table. You can do things like drop some cavern rocks on the side. Let's put down a bunch of cavern rocks. See what I mean? Repeating thing. But you just drop one here and drop one there, and you're kind of laughing. Very cool. You have all of the different pieces. These are walls with floors, so you would extend them. But you can also, if we go back to castle, I kind of jumped ahead there. I got a little excited. Is grab a piece without a floor. So these would be the pieces that you would put on the inside if you wanted to make walls to separate things on the inside to build your inside walls. This guy sideways. One there and one there. Zoom out a little bit. Remember, we're working on the second tier. This isn't like the floor tier, because we're up down here. Mouse wheel zooms in and out. Then you've got your standard WASD to move around. F turns on the flashlight, which is a cool feature if you want to spotlight something for your players. I think that's pretty slick, something that Tabletop Simulator could pick up. But this all, the editing in this is pretty easy too, right? You want to select all this stuff. You can select sort of twice. It makes like a volumetric cube. So now I've selected everything in there, and you can Control C, Control V, all that kind of stuff, and delete it to get rid of it. So it's pretty easy to start over. All in all, it's fairly intuitive. Like, it takes a little bit of farting around with, but you kind of get the gist of what, pretty quickly what you're trying to do. Building stuff in here. I'm deleting this out. But there's, what else we got up here? Sample height for grid. There's a bunch of weird features and stuff like that they're putting in. You get out of building mode and then scooch around. See, again, I'm a mouse guy. You got, you can assign minis. Well, actually, let's go back to here. So you got your cavern. You got different chests that you can put down. Cobblestones. Let's drop some cobblestones on the street. Oh, we're dropping them at the second height. Right click gets rid of that. We'll select them and delete them. Let's move everything down to the bottom level here. I'm going to put down some cobblestones. Now the cobblestones show up at a weird height. I'm sure there's probably a different piece that you want to use. But yeah, the repeating look of it sort of throws me off a little bit. They're not bad. Nifty looking things. The doors, they only have so many in the game. You got double dungeon doors, which are pretty sweet. You've got a sliding single door. You've got a fancy door. What else you got? We got metal gates. Pretty neat. A little peasant door. Porculus. Very cool. Prison door. Which is fantastic, right? Any one of these things you can click on and hit open and it'll swing on its axis, which is pretty cool. Obviously that's going to go up. Fantastic. You can really see like this has got some, it's got some promise, that's for sure. Here's your doors. Dungeon pieces. Well, let's see what we got. I'll try and throw down like the dungeon floors so you can have a peek at them, just to give you an idea as to what you're looking forward to. There's your typical dungeon floor. Oh, I need to get the piece back out. You got stairs that you can put in so that you can go up levels and whatnot. If you want to put a block behind this and then go back to the stairs, drop that right there. It's pretty fast to build things. I just can't imagine myself. I guess I could because it's kind of neat, but it'd be cool. Like you start stretching your town out, but that's a lot of time that you're going to put into building just a fantasy world and stuff. So who knows? But it's cool. I'm enjoying it. But yeah, I don't know. I have this weird feeling that it's going to be a lot. So we got some foam grass, a couple of these things. That's how I guess you would lay down grass. Not hard. It's very intuitive. Clickety click, and you're kind of off to the races. Pretty neat. So then you want to put down some dungeon floor. Maybe it's a grassy dungeon. Who knows? Would be your second level. Do a bunch of them. Just drag it and pop it over right to there. Very, very cool. It's not very time consuming until you start doing things like dropping the walls and stuff like that on. I should say that's where the majority of the time consumption, trying to rotate the pieces. Little things you can light up with. You can drop lights and stuff like that. You see these little braziers, which are kind of cool. Like, great aesthetic, man. Campfires. Fantastic looking. It has that cool looking stop motion, claymation kind of a feel to it. Lighting. This is just a style of dungeon called Morgroth or something like that. You put some pieces down. Got a very cool looking aesthetic. Like those look fantastic. But could you imagine like building an entire dungeon out of these things and then flipping the corners all the time? Ooh, doggy, I'm telling you, man, that looks crazy. Cool but crazy. Like this is really the kind of thing you want to sit down for an afternoon and just play with, just to build your stuff. There's a bunch of grassy tiles which are cool. You can see the grass over here. I've used them on my little walkway in. These pieces, I'm sure there's a way to get them to line up, but I'm not that proficient with Talespire yet. You can see down there they don't quite, the corners, when you find the stone corner, right? So we're going to shift, highlights this piece, right click, deletes it. We're going to crack out the stone corner, mouse click it to turn it around and place it here. Problem is that it still doesn't fit for some reason. I don't know why that is like that. Beta, that's all I'm going to say. It's still very cool. Thing looks fantastic. I got to say that much. Go up to nature. We got your props. So you've got things like, that should be more drag and droppable. There's an anvil. Put it down here over on some grass. Looks a little bit better. Different barrels that you can drop in. 3 stack of barrels here somewhere. Now, I don't think that you can adjust the size of these pieces yet. Maybe that's going to be a feature that they put in. Really, all you can do now is just sort of drop them down en masse, kind of a thing. Shift over top, right click gets rid of it. There's a way that you can sort of select them all, but you got a bunch of stuff in here, from bear rugs to apple baskets, bookshelves, cheese, grates, dark crate stack, wood coffins, that kind of thing. So with the beta release, man, popped out, it just came out swinging. Sewers, all fantastic. And then the tavern. So you got the roofs and doors, interior. There's bars and stuff like that. Like, where's the bar piece? Here's the bar counter. You want to make a counter for a bar or whatever. It's not look like that. It should look like one piece. Did I grab the corner? I think that's all corners. I think I grabbed the wrong piece. Bar counter. Here we go. Let's make it this way. Sideways, and I bet I screwed that up too. I did, because it's not the right way. Right click or middle mouse, man, I'm telling you. There we go. Now, not only do you get all of those pieces out of the gate, which is pretty cool, you get some creatures. You've got animals. Here's the ones that it comes with, sort of the basics. Wolf, mule, spider, snake, centipede, bat, rat, and bear. You've got demonic, which is just an imp. I'm going to put the imp on the bar. Very cool looking. They look great, man. They really do. If you hold Alt and click on the mouse, you can sort of mouse wheel around, move your mouse around in circles to spin them, to point them the way that you want them to point, just by selecting it and hitting Alt. Elementals, let's check these out. Frickin' guy looks wicked. You know what I mean? That's a cool frickin' model. Let's see, here's Earth. Fire, fantastic looking. Water. These remind me of like my old school. Like, I swear I have this one painted already, just like that. You got some giants, but there's only one, but he is massive. So zoom out and take a peek at this guy. Compared to the elementals, compared to the imps, you got a bunch of goblins, and then some heroes. Now the heroes are pretty sweet. There's quite a few of them. You've got wizard, shaman, ranger, warrior, monk, knight. 2 different kinds of knights. You got another ranger. This is ranger prepared. Let's see what the difference is. Prepared and observant. See what the difference is. Oh yeah, this guy's ready to shoot some stuff. I swear I have that mini as well. That is so weird. Like, I swear I have that guy, or I've painted him before. Oh, Adventure Rotund. There we are. Oh, what? Why? Oh, Dwarf Axe Armor. Gotcha. You got little code words, little things underneath it, so that you can find them easier and stuff like that. So I guess if you wanted to search for Barbarian, you can do that in the search window up here. Humans. So Druid Wildman, he popped in here for some reason. He must be tagged as your Barbarian, which is just basically your Conan mini, and then your Druid. Minis look fantastic, man. The lighting and stuff like that you can change to the way they cast shadows. All of that stuff is manipulate, or you can manipulate it all. And then, select everything. Click, lift it up, click, delete. Why did it not make my characters disappear? Oh, I think because you have to like right click on each one of them. So there is no character sheets in game. Again, beta. But you can assign your players. There's the kill menu. So you've got some GM tools. You can rename him, add player permission, which would be when a player comes in, you can assign this token to that player, and then make unique. Making unique makes it like a one-shot thing, so no matter what you do to it, nobody else can choose it. Any changes that you make if you respawn this token are also made. And oh man, what else you got? So you can assign that to a player. You can hide it. Now hiding it makes it disappear. So if you have goblins and stuff like that you want to hide, or your player goes into stealth, when you hit tab, you can see this is like the sort of like some weird GM's thing that they've put in that I'm still farting around with, that lets you see where the players are. So then you can right click and you can hit reveal, and that's just an easy way to get these guys to pop in and out. Another cool thing that they have is teleport. So enable torch, each of them has enable torch. You can see that it's lit up a little bit, so that's kind of cool as they move around. It's pretty decent. And then emotes really don't do much right now. Sad just wiggles the feet, wiggle spins them in a circle. And then stats. So you can rename these stats, which is, what more do you need? I really don't think that they should put character sheets in this and just keep it as generic as possible, just to, you know, save the time and trouble, because your players can just have player sheets like Tabletop Simulator. It's not much more is needed. No need to overcomplicate it. You should be able to like rename these stats. I know that you can change it so that you can, you know, change that to 50, and then he could be like 45 of 50. Now, I'm wondering if at some point they won't make these visible. Let's see. Click out of here, grab this guy, move him away a little bit, right click, stats. Wondering why these guys all have sight or little eyeballs above them. I don't know. Maybe you can highlight them somehow, or they will at a later date allow you to highlight them. It's cool that it's missing a piece. I do like that. But I'm just wondering, if you started setting it and assigning players to it, how much will appear if you mouse over it? Maybe something they'll put in at a later date. The building's pretty easy. The minis are kind of cool. I've access to quite a few different minis for your heroes. Bust out young dragon, gargoyle statue. So they got quite a bit. Mimic. Attack. They do little animations. Minotaur, raging minotaurs. Right click. That's the one that's highlighted. So let's see, enable torch. Maybe you can assign these as well to people's, so that they could be things like gloop, green slime. If I wanted to play a slime game where I was a slime in a game before, you got a nice assortment of NPCs, village commoners, drunks, innkeepers, blacksmiths, some lady selling apples. Here she is, common apple seller. It's too funny. A murder hobo and her. She's the first one to go. Spirits are pretty cool. I like that they're a little bit illuminated. The ghost searching is really neat. She's got that cool looking blue base and stuff on her, which is fantastic. That's very cool. Vampire Lord. So yeah, you got quite an assortment of NPCs and players and monsters that you can access right now that are readily available. And it's just, everything looks fantastic. Like the aesthetics for these things is cool. The style that it's done in is very interesting. I gotta say, I like that. That's where you find all of that stuff. Flashlight down on top of this one. Let's zoom in. You highlight little areas and stuff. The shading and stuff is pretty cool. Turn that off. Okay, so that's kind of sort of build mode. There's other things that you can do. Like you can, again, control, copy, and paste. I want to show you something that's pretty sweet. So we're gonna try and back out of this. We're gonna go create new board. And then from this board, we're gonna go and change this unknown realm. So let's hit the rename board button. We're gonna call this Tavern 2. Hit OK. Now we have a blank board here again, just like as in before, right? There is a very cool website that you can go to. Here's me. me voice meter potato. And Control H. Through my history, find my porn that's in here somewhere. Here we go. Tales Bizarre. Take me there. Just going to delete the bounty part off. Here's a website called Talespire Slabs. And this is going to be the very cool selling point for Talespire, because I cannot see myself taking the time to build these multi-level taverns and all of this other stuff. So you can go here and you can see there's this one called Ship Cargo made by Grandy. Very interesting, right? These are some of the latest submissions. Old Boar Tavern and Hostel. What is this one? Basement lair for a necromancer. Party's headquarters. Ship cargo. Okay, so we're gonna go check this out. This might be multiple pictures of the same thing. But what you do when you come here, which is cool about this website, is you hit this copy button here. Now I've literally just copied that entire thing to my table, or to what I should, let me show you this. So by definition, here's the raw slab string. What this does is when you select and then volumize, it converts everything into just this big long string, this big mess of stuff. And you're essentially just copying that text into your deal, your whatchamacallit. And once you do that, you can we'll bring Talespire back. Talespire, I keep calling it Talespire. But if you hit inside the game Control V, you'll see that it brings it all in game. And now it's in what I want to call a stamp. So what you can do is I can go over here and I can just press my left mouse button and stamp this thing down, and it's going to build that deal over here. See, I have two of them because this is a stamp, right? So I could put two boats side by side. Bada bing. I want to build a third boat because I got a freaking armada going on here, and maybe even like a fourth and a fifth boat. Now, if I right click, it gets rid of that. So I've had some issues with this thing not importing all of the pieces. But just like that, you've got a ship in game. So if you threw down some water, put down your water base and stuff like that, you can actually, like in this game, because of the levels and stuff, you can go underground and pop back up and do different things. So let's see, let's zoom in on this thing here and start taking this, sliding this down. Not close enough. Again, beta. So there you go. There's some kind of inside the ship. No, I don't want that. There we go. We move it up a little bit because I'm zoomed in enough now, which is this is gonna take some getting used to. But there's the inside of the ship, sort of the bottom level. You can see a couple of chests, some doors. This guy did a good job putting this together, and it actually did a good job importing it into Talespire, because I've had issues with missing pieces from other ones for some reason. So this is the level that you set, sort of the height, the level that you're playing on. Oh, I dropped in a few more stuffs, and right up until there. You just want to swing it back a little bit, and then you're playing on this level. Grab your heroes. Variant sits in there. Right click. You can zoom in, and you're sort of just playing on this level. You won't see anything beyond this, or the next second or third level kind of a thing. It just builds the ship up. Zoom in. Very cool. It's very interesting, very neat. I like the levels aspect. That's cool. And I like the fact that somebody else could build this shit and I could just copy it into my deal and not have to screw around with it, right? But still. All right, so let's get in here a little bit and let's grab this and see what the second level looks like. What I'm going to do is just keep pushing this up to make sure that everything gets built right up until the next level appears, which is right there, and we're going to have to zoom back. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with the controls with this when it comes into the next, outside of beta. But yeah, very cool. This guy's got a different bed somehow. I didn't see these beds with these little cloth things on it in the creatures or whatever. Let's go here. Maybe they're in different parts. So we're going to filter, and I'm going to hit bed. I'm going to hit enter, and see I only have two. Same bed. Kind of is the same bed. For some reason, Mine is, his is a little, maybe it's just the coloring, I don't know. Shift click, shift and left click gets rid of that. And then, yeah, here's the outside of the ships. No masts or any of that kind of stuff, but still, damn frickin' skippy, man. That's very cool. Very interesting, very neat. This is for some reason as high up as I can go. Now, I don't know if I need to swing these all the way up. Zooming this up, there we go. Because I got like my max height level kind of a thing. I would put this right up to the top and go into the fog. I'm in the fog of war. But it's not really that, it's just kind of some weird thing. Shoot that down to the bottom. These are going to take some getting used to. You know, the levels that you're working on, because right now I'm in build mode, so we got to get rid of that. There's a little way you can switch up here from player to GM that does some other things. Campaign settings. This is where you invite players, generate invite codes. So you want to generate a code. There it is there, nice and simple. Copy that, paste it to the clipboard, people can join. Now, I had trouble getting Pearson into my game. He would show up down here as a player, but I couldn't figure out how to, or we couldn't figure out how to get us into so I could see the tables. Yeah, it's got some potential. It's not going to replace my tabletop simulator, although it is very cool because I just can't imagine Minecrafting this. So as long as there's things that are pre-built, I might be all in, setting a scene up and stuff like that in here, but it's cool that you can build like entire cities and stuff in this game. Turn-based mode, this is when you want to go into, you're going into combat. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do in here too, like, let's go back to exploration mode. Spacebar brings up the dice. Now the dice are actually pretty sweet. You just choose the D20 a couple of times and then you just grab them and you've got 2 D20s. Throw them wherever they want, tells you what you rolled. Let's say I need a couple of 8s and a 10. Grab them, shake them, and turf them down the table. Whoosh, now I got to chase them. The rolling mechanic is actually pretty good and tells you what you rolled, right? On this side, you've got a session history that you can see all the dice that you've rolled. Unique creatures. That is a thing that you go to when you go into build mode. Get rid of this filter. Let's go to the animals. We're going to bust out the bear. We're going to right click on the bear and we are going to go to GM tools, make unique, right click GM tools, and we are going to rename this. This guy's called Bear Cave. Let's call him Unique Bear Willie. Rename. Then good old Unique Bear Willie. Ooh, is that what I called him? I think that's what I called him. Will show up inside of here. Unique Bear Willie. There's some other cool stuff that you're going to do too. So if you close this window down, we get out of build mode. Spacebar gets rid of those. Change this in here to like 30. Change this to say 40 to increase his hit points. And then you go to your unique characters or creatures. When you rebuild Willie, he's already set to 30 or 40. Everything changes. Another cool feature. There's some neat stuff in this thing. So that's just kind of like a general. If you want to see how to sort of do things in depth, I'm going to recommend this guide that I found on YouTube. We go to the old YouTubes. You can check out all the porn that I've been watching. Look at it all. Cooking shows. All this other... Oh, there's Linus Tech Tips. But we are going to go to a new subscription that I found. Show 48 more. He's right here. The Panoramic Panda. This guy's got all the videos that you need to see how to do everything in depth, which is fantastic. So you want to know how to do certain stuff. You can actually even see him doing some gameplay in these videos down here. He'll show you all the things on how to work with overlays. There's short little videos, which is pretty cool. I texted him this morning to find out how to work that flashlight, so kudos to the Panoramic Panda for getting back to me and telling me how it's done, because I activated it and I couldn't get it turned off. And I think that's pretty much about it. Like I'm not quite into farting around with this too much. Let's go back to Miss Friona's tea house. That's how you change boards back and forth. So you can do things like setting the scene. It's changed everything. You can see all these guys. I'm going to have to go through and kill all this. But yeah, before we split, let's go back to, do I have that other table? No, where is it? All I know is Control H to find it again. What's it called? Talespire prefabs. Tales Bazaar. Prefab boat. Hit enter. You could submit. There's a thing here called bounties. So you can see a bunch of people are like, hey, can somebody make Castle Ravenloft? Can somebody make Temple of Madness? This guy's like, can you make me an evil wizard lair? And then if you go to, well, you can go to log in and whatnot and see different things, but these are just the latest ones. There's quite a few of them. Like some people have actually started building. Here's Curse of Strahd. This is all like since yesterday. I want to say that I think this is a great idea. And I don't mean to be an asshole, but a lot of the stuff on here is just pure shit. It's like hot garbage that you would never use. It's like there's a bunch of 10-year-olds that got their hands on this and just started building junk and put it up here. Cragmaw Hideout does look cool, I gotta say. Let's take a look at this one. So this should be like the full meal deal. I kind of know this one a little bit. Done by sizes. So these are publicly created, made by the general public stuff. And I guess maybe they're just trying it out to see, right? So let's do this. I want to see what this looks like. So what I want to do is I want to go create new board. We're going to call this board, rename it. This is, what's it called? Cragmaw Hideout. Cragmaw Hideout. Oh, my face is itchy. We're going to hit OK. And then now that we're in game, we're going to hit Control V. We're going to pan out. And again, we've just turned this into a frickin' stamp. So we can kind of put this wherever we want. So we're just going to smash it down right there and let it build. Then we will control the zoom so that we can see what's going on here. Let's get out of build mode and go into exploration mode. Q and E will shoot you around the table so that you can see what's going on. So you see you got the bush. You could hide your little goblins in here. Let's see, did he put them in there? No, they're not there. In this one, there's a couple of goblins. This is the little goblin ambush inside the starters area there. Here's the entranceway that he put in. That's all very cool and good. Where is my sight level? Because it might be too far down. Like I said, the controls on this are very weird. Like I gotta press my middle mouse button to look around. Not a fan of the controls of this. Now let's move. He's fine. We want to move the green one. That when we come in close, all of this stuff should disappear. But it's not, and I don't know why. All right. So what happens if I go over here? Why can I not get this to go away? This? Nope. See? Yeah, it's a little weird. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody else might know. Let's hit the build mode. This guy back down. Can't seem to get the stuff to sort of disappear or move out of the way. Mouse, middle mouse. Let's look straight down on top of this thing. Way so we can see. So what do we got? We got the goblin ambush. There's stuff underneath here because this is the upper areas. So he's put in some log floors where the river should flow. I'm sure at one point they're going to have some water pieces. There's the little bridge that goes across. That's very cool. This comes into the little area where you find what's his face. Yeah, he's got the little steps and the levels up and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. There's some skull and crossbone things going on there. All right. I'm kind of done showing this off. It's cool. I like it. I don't want to shit talk it. I think that building this thing is probably very time consuming. I'm not going to say that building stuff in Tabletop Simulator can't be as time consuming. But there's easier ways to play, although this is very cool. Like I can't not say it's not very cool. Oh, there. So look, some stuff disappeared. It's moving as I zoom in. But here's my take on this thing and what I foresee happening in the future. right now you've got so many, I think I want to call them packs, right? Like you've got these hero packs. In the Kickstarter, this thing, when it went past a certain stretch goal, it was set to, they were going to make models for Cyberpunk and stuff like that. And this is kind of where I'm like, okay, so if you didn't kickstart it, you're not going to get the Cyberpunk, which if you did, you will. You're going to have to buy that Cyberpunk add-on. I think that this game is going to be very controlling with the models that you can access. So they'll come out with like monster packs where you get like, here you've got the goblinoid pack, so you get all the goblins, right? Maybe they'll do another one where they put out like an ogre pack or giants. They've got one giant, but let's say they come out with a bunch of models for all the giants, and then you can buy the giant pack, pay them a bit of money, and get the giant pack in. So that's kind of my holdback right now. Like there's no water in this game. Maybe they'll release water as a pack that you have to buy. I understand people want to make money, and I'm not holding it against them by any means. But my thing is that I don't know if I'm into that with all of this building and stuff that they got going on. Although it's cool with the layers and the doors opening and things like that. But I think that what you're going to find is eventually you're going to end up just dumping a bunch of money into this to buy different monsters, to buy different heroes, to buy just different terrains and different looks. And I think that's going to be sort of, I don't know for sure, this is just speculation, but I just see that as a way for the company to make money, and as well they should, right? So these are just my thoughts. Whereas with my tabletop simulator, I can't really do the same things, but I can do things quicker because I'm more familiar with it, and I can build the stuff myself for free, so I'm not dumping money into it. And man, like I said, this would have been so time consuming in Tabletop Simulator. I would have just laid down the maps and thrown down some pogs, and we're off to the races. But you know what? Any game master that takes the time to build all this, all the power to you, bud. Like, that's fantastic freaking stuff, man. That's very cool. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my original take on this, or my intro take to the beta mode. Well done. Kudos, man. The beta is fantastic. You can see how stable it is, how well it runs. I don't like the way that you look around. I've said that already. I wish it would have been first-person shooter style with the right click on the mouse kind of a deal. But yeah, very cool. So far, very, very fantastic. The grid's kind of neat. The table that just sort of goes on forever. You could build it like a separate little thing over here and not have them connected. If you wanted to put your tavern over here, and then everybody zooms in on the tavern, there is a way that you can actually set it up so that you can drop, we go tab, you can drop, these are other little things you could do. Place an atmosphere block. So if you want to place a marker block, you can just click it, right click on it, say edit, apply, delete. Let's delete that. I'm not 100% sure what you do with this one. Place a marker block. Cutscenes is another thing that you have. This is a cutscene. You come up here, you take your cutscene, you put your cutscene, let's say right there. You zoom around the map. Check this out on Panoramic Panda's deal. But as you zoom around the map, you can take pictures. Let's open this up. Place cutscene marker. Placed. Right click open. Why is it not going to the cutscene? Anyways, what it'll do is you can zoom around and you can take cutscenes. So you put this little thing here. Oh, it's dropped down there for some reason. You zoom in where you want to look, like inside the cave. Let's see if I can get a better shot. Nope, because again, it's weird moving around. Lower this down a little bit so that I can peek inside there. But you would take a picture. Maybe you wouldn't take a picture of the cave entrance, but let's say right here you put a bugbear, and then you take a picture just like this. There's a window that should appear here that for some reason for me isn't, and I'm not sure why. Man, my nose is itchy. But check out the cutscenes on Panoramic Pandas where his works. Mine's not working. I don't know if it's just kind of bugged out or got a little trippy. But the idea being, you send the cutscene to your players, and then they walk up to the cave entrance and they're looking in, and you hit the cutscene, send them a picture of a bugbear doing his thing in here, and that's where you just describe, okay, through the cave you can hear something creeping around, and show them a scene of the bugbear or something like that. Just little snippets, right? Same thing, you would do the same thing when you open the tavern doors. Your players walk up to the tavern, you throw this cutscene down from a GM so that you can just click on it. I must be missing a step here. I'll have to look this up again too. Maybe we got to be out of building mode. I don't know. Grab shot. There it is. I hit B and it came up. So you would put grab shot, and then as you're scooching around, let's say you want to show a different area, like a pile of bones. And that's trying to zoom in so we get these bones in focus. Might have to be a little higher up. There we go. So we're going to show this like little treasure chest with a pile of bones. We're going to hit grab shot. And then here's the premise of it. As you walk up to the front, you see this little marker from the GM's perspective, and you can click on it, hit open, it pops up, and you're like, okay, bam, I want to show my players the pile of bones and give them the sense of danger and show them the chest that's inside. And then as you narrate like this creepy cave that they've come upon and the smells that waft out, that kind of a stuff, that kind of a things, that's what these are for. That's what the cutscenes are for. You describe them, they can show them a few things. Inside this cave is a bit of treasure they can go looking for. So it's pretty sweet. I like Talespires, to be honest with you, but man, I just can't help but feel that it is going to be a lot of effort to build this stuff. Like, put all these trees in, build this little rock wall. I farted around building a tavern yesterday, and it probably took me, I want to say like a good maybe hour and a half, because I was learning and stuff. Once I got it down a little bit better, I was like, okay, this is cool. But some of the pieces didn't fit in the way they should have. Let's tab out of that and hit save and close. Tab, nope. I think maybe I deleted it. I don't know. Don't know what I did. But I do think that's a cool feature. So yeah, selling feature, man. Talespire prefabs is a sweet website where you can go find all sorts of weird and crazy goodness. A lot of people have been building houses. Cragmaw hideout, that's fantastic that's in there. There's a couple of ships. Very cool. Right? You click on the latest, scroll through the list of things that are in there. Is there a search function? Yeah, filter, so you can search for let's search for sewers. Hit reset. That work? No, it did not work, because people probably haven't put tags on their things. There's a little blacksmith from Skyrim, right? There's no way you're going to catch me building stuff, but if I can roll in here and somebody's taken the time to do this, I think that this community pile of stuff that we're building is going to be cool for the game. It's going to make it easy. Wayside Inn, that's a cool looking inn. It's fun to just grab these things and build them in game. Like this Wayside Inn actually looks pretty good, so we're going to hit copy on that. Let's bust this out, move this back over here so you guys can see what's going on. And we want to go to create a new board. In the board, we're going to pan out, hit tab to make that go away. Control V. Tavern stamp. Smash that tavern down there, and we're going to put another one right beside it. Tale of Two Taverns, which is very cool. So yeah, immediately I have a game to play, as these two tavern masters hate each other. Depending on which one you go into, the guy will ask you to sort of take out his partner in crime. Let's move the work level down. Better. Just got to wiggle this thing until we get to the right setting. So awkwardly weird, but yeah, I just hi. Do I need to be closer? Do I need to move? How do I get in here? Do I need to move my site up? Don't get it. Do I need to move my work level up? Kind of a weird thing. at? Anyways, you get the gist of it, right? Like it's, I don't want to say clumsy right now. Me being partially retarded, figured this out. No, there's an interior. There's the interior. So I just had to zoom in a little bit, then just wiggle this thing so that I can see the layer that I want to see, which is this layer. There. Now, as long as I don't adjust anything, we're golden. We got a tale of two taverns. Willie on the left and Jimmy on the right, and they both want each other dead. You're going to be the guy to go do it for them. But the other person can't know. Oh, the house is being built around because I've moved too far away. The lid went on. So yeah, I think that's a cool feature. I like the levels and stuff like that. Some of the videos show these things going down underground, which is a, you know, maybe a reason you want to start this up a little higher so that you can get the water blocks and stuff and shoot down. But I think I'm done. I think I've showed you enough features of this thing. Right now, even in beta, I think this is cool. But I wouldn't switch my tabletop simulator stuff out, although this has a close contender. But I'm going to wait to see what happens when they start introducing some new stuff, new models and things like that. See what they're, you know, what it's going to cost you to buy their things. I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the future with character sheets. What kind of sort of background manipulation that they're going to do, you know, maybe add hit points or spells. There's actually going to be spells in this. I think I've seen it, you know, the wizard guy will shoot lightning, which is kind of cool. So I don't know how many of those they're going to put in, but I can just see that being a big pain in the ass. You know, it's cool that my player's going to be like, I shoot lightning, and then all of a sudden lightning comes out of his hands. But he's like, I'm going to drop some sludge. And then he sits there for 5 minutes while he F's around with his stupid miniature so that he can get the bloody sludge to pop up. I'm going to shoot web. And then he like webs an area of the, and it's just, you're going to be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on, guy. But it's cool. But I feel like that kind of stuff is going to slow the game down a little bit, maybe. I do like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could just like see a town. I'm going way over here to where the farm is, and I'm going to do some stuff out here, right? Like, let's move my deal out of the way. See if we can't find a farm or something like that to put out here. What do we got? Troll Skull Manor. All right, we're going to copy this. So simple, man. Copy. Let's bring this back in. I'm doing all this stuff from the right window. Let's zoom in. Hit Control V. Click. Might be populating. Sure. It's not. Why is it not? Build mode. Control V. Let's try that again. Copy. It says copied. Click. Control V. I got nothing. Hit and miss. It is beta. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. I don't know how long this video is, but that's Talespire in a nutshell. Let's see if F2 takes me back. Oh, it does, right back to where I was at. So that's what F2 is. It's kind of like a home center button thing they got going on there. All in all, very cool. I like it. I feel it's going to be, it's got a cool aesthetic. It's neat that you can come up and you can do things like right-click on the door or click on the door to open the, somehow, right? Request, what? He must have put, what? I had to open a double door there. Maybe I dropped it twice. I don't know. Let's go check out this little fella over here. Open. Yeah, he's only a single. I don't know if there's a double. I don't know what happened there. Honestly, I don't. Pretty neat. The lighting is cool. The stuff that you can do with this thing is cool. It's all very fantastic. Might be a little too over the top, and it might slow your game down. I don't know. I still think it's awesome. I don't want to really talk shit about it, but yeah, that's my thoughts on Talespire. I think this is going to be an expensive piece of machinery to play on, and it's going to be very time-consuming as a game master for you to sit down and build the stuff that you want. You're going to spend more time playing Minecraft than you are actually running a session. So we'll see what happens. I think that Tale Bazaar deal thing, talesbazaar.com. I think that's going to be a game changer and a lifesaver for this program, because a lot of people are going to be going there looking for stuff that they can just grab, plunk down in their city, build your entire city, which will be cool. You know, you got a tavern, you got a cathedral, maybe somebody makes a cathedral, somebody else makes a mansion, and you start plopping things down. Somebody builds a farm, you grab the farm, and it's just click, click, click. You're putting the farms down. All very cool. Maybe it'll be much quicker than I feel it will be. So, yeah, Talespire. Very cool. All right, well, that's it for this one. Peace out.